with 3 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time every business day. Let's get down to it. Sorry about that, guys. I had to fade you out. All right. So occasionally I do check on my account because I actually do trade. It's one of the things that Pete and I do that we think makes us somewhat unique is that we actually trade. Don't just talk about it. We trade. And something I feel good about, something I've done for 38 years. And obviously it pays the bills as well. So let's get down to action. MarketRebellion.com/UOA. That's MarketRebellion.com/UOA for unusual option activity. Need to know more about it? Go there. Disclaimer, this is just for education and edification and maybe a little information. Doesn't mean that I am your investment advisor. Like this one from my friend Robert Kiyosaki, saw it today and said, that one rings true all the time. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement, bang, of winning, because you're not going to feel it if you don't take that risk. If you let that fear of losing on a trade, on an investment be greater than the excitement of winning. Now, that's not to say that you should always just throw money at every single trade or every single investment that you might see out there. Do your homework. Learn before you try to earn. And if you do that, I think you'll be setting yourself up for success. Let's move it on. Well, I think a lot of you remember this one. Why? Well, just because it was very recent. On the 20th, today's 26th, on the 20th last week, we were talking about a bunch of the 29th of May 1350 calls. And they were buying them for 35 cents. And then the very next, 2 days later, I guess, they were also buying the 29th of May expiration 14 calls for 70 cents. Now, somebody is telling you information with every big trade that we follow. The information here is that they think they have tomorrow's newspaper today. They have a very short-term trade on. They're looking for it to pop from 12, ended up popping to almost 14 2 days later, and they still think it's going higher because 2 days later they put more money on the table. How'd they do? Well, went through 16 today. This is just from a few minutes ago. It's still up 15%. And the options have worked out pretty well, too. Those options, the right to buy it at 13.5 with it at 16, are worth $2.50. They were buying those for 30 cents. If you want to put it in other terms, they paid $30 for each option, and those options are now worth $250. With stock trading at 16. That's not a bad trade, folks. I'll take that. I bet a lot of you will take that too. The 14s worked out okay too. Those 14s 2 days later that they were buying for 70 cents went from 70 cents to at least $2. That sounds like a nice trade to me. Took some profits, moved on. Because always discipline dictates action. DDA. Got to pull that off. Put it in your pocket. Let some of it run, fine. Want to let it run into Friday, even fine. But pull off chunks of that win and put them away. Because not every trade wins. We win an awful lot. But like I said it, quoting that Robert Kiyosaki, don't let the fear of losing put you in a position to not experience that bang of winning. How about this one? EQT. Talked about it on the 22nd. Stock was $13.62. They bought 12,000 of these Jan 20 calls. There's EQT. Moving up from $13.62. It's up $1 more today. And those options traded up to $174 so far. How about another one? Melco, yeah, because a couple of you guys were telling me, hey, Doc, what about Melco? We got some big profits in there, right? Yes, you do. Where were they buying those calls? Stock was 1433. They bought 5,500 July 15 calls. So, bits of information that were contained in that a couple days ago. One, July. So they didn't just want June, they wanted July. They wanted 2 months. They want to be in this trade for a while. Second bit of information, above the market, out of the money calls. Means they expect a fairly decent sized move. Paid $1.15 to $1.20. Every option's for 100 shares of stock, so that means $115 to $120 is what they paid for each and every option that they bought, 5,500 times. So, how'd they do? Well, those also went to 174 today. They're up 51% from the close last Friday. That's a pretty damn nice trade, too. There's Melco. And just to throw one more at you, and then I'm going to get into fresh meat. One more at you. SIG, which is Signet Jewelers. Stock's at 1043. They're buying the June 12 calls. So, let's see. The stock's moving up from 1043 to 1072. Stock initially popped all the way through 11. So if you were somebody who was quick on the trigger, you might have been able to pull a little more off. It came all the way back down to like 1025, and it's been working its way back up to 1072. Like it. And you got time. It's June 12 calls. Let's get into some fresh meat, shall we? MET, M-E-T. They buy nearly 11,000 of these August 40s. Bits of information. Stock's trading just shy of 36. They're buying the 40 calls. Those calls are $4 out of the money. All right? That's first bit of information. Second, big trade. They traded nearly 8,000 of these in a single print for $1.14. That should get you interested because that's 800,000 share equivalent, and they paid $114 for those. So that's probably about a $900,000 trade. Those are the ones I want to follow. I followed them into MET. There's MET now, 36.42. Where was it? 35.72. So it's not up quite a buck, but it's up 70 cents. It's up 9% on the day. Look at that nice big gap. Bang. Let's move on to the next one. Second of our 3 at 3. Bed Bath & Beyond. Now this one's hit multiple times lately, folks. It hit when it was $6 stock just over a week ago. Now they're buying June 8 calls with the stock at $7.62. How much do they pay? 40 cents to 55 cents or 56 cents. That's $40 to $56 because that's what that means. Every option's for 100 shares of stock. So when they pay 40 cents, slide that little decimal 2 places over to the right. Each one's $40, but it's for 100 shares. So if you wanted to simulate 1,000 share position, you could do it for $400 because each one's $40 times 10. That'd be 1,000 shares equivalent, $400. Or you get in here and you could spend $7,600 buying the stock. Your choice. I know which way I go, but not everybody goes the same way I go, if you know what I mean. All right, let's get to the third of our 3 at 3. And it is, drum roll please, FDX, FedEx. This is a big one. I'm saying this is a big one for several reasons. Number one, they only have a month to be right, not even a full month to be right on this one. So somebody thinks they know something. Earnings are the end of June, after the stock, after these options have expired. So this is not an earnings play. But they've bought an awful lot of these. Sorry, can't take that call right now for my fill. But they bought an awful lot of these calls, bought 7,000 of the 145 calls for 28 cents. Again, that's $28 for each call, 7,000 times. So this is not a several $100,000 or several $1,000,000 trade, but nonetheless, it's worth watching and worth trading. So June 145 calls, 28 cents is what they paid with the stock at 123.70. There's the stock gapping up for us, gapping from 116.30 this morning all the way up and now running up towards the highs of the day, 125.52. It's an expensive one too, because stock 1,000 shares of this is $123,000. How much is a 1,000 share equivalent of these calls? Well, they're $28 a piece, $280. So which one of us do you think can make more money on a trade, getting in there and buying some calls or buying the stock? You're tying up an awful lot of money to buy the stock in here. I like to trade buying the calls, and I bought a lot more than 20 of them. Let's talk marketrebellion.com/UOA. You want to get started? Hit marketrebellion.com/get started. How do you get started? Start with education, building blocks. You can do it remotely, right from your PC. You've got me, you've got Pete, you've got all of our instructors that have recorded these lessons. You can do them anytime, day or night. You can also join live classes. That's part of this. You can join live classes. If you need one, you can get a coach. You can get a mentor. We've got it all at Option Unusual Activity Reports every day. You can learn more about it, marketrebellion.com/get started, or for unusual option activity, marketrebellion.com/UOA. All right. Let's see, 45 minutes from right now, we've got Tony Dwyer. He's the guy that helped us buy at the bottom. Now, did I buy the exact bottom? No. Did I buy a bunch of stocks down there? Bought some, kept adding to it, adding to it, adding to it. Did I just put a whole slug of money down right at what turns out it seems likely to be the bottom? No. I put some money on the table, though. Bought a lot of stocks over the rise as it was coming back up. Tony Dwyer helped us have that fortitude because this guy's got great data. And he'll be joining us 45 minutes from now on Market Rebellion. Make sure you join us. You got to sign up to be there live. You can join us. I hope you do. See you soon.